Banana time, he eats a banana time. It's banana time on Thursdays and Sundays at 5. This week on Banana Time. No, I'm gonna cut all this out. You do it as much as you want. Nobody will ever hear it. It's the worst. It's gonna be horrible.
Hello. Sorry, after you.
Oh, thank you. Kevin's holding the door open for me.
Yeah.
Such a gentleman. Hello, and welcome back onto the platform. This is a show where we do stories with no thought whatsoever. Just like it says on the tin. My name is Ryan.
My name is Kevin. I was holding the door open for him so I could stare at his ass.
Yeah, I'm trapped in a big tin. Like a tuna.
Oh, me too. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I'm not really trapped. I can go as I please.
Yeah, you are still holding the door open to the tin.
Yeah. I was thinking I'll maybe close it, though.
Don't.
Okay, I won't.
Don't.
I'll keep the door open.
Okay, are there air holes in here?
I don't think so. I think it's tin.
Yeah,
Like, I think it's hermetically sealed.
You can't punch holes in tin.
Well,
it's
like-
famously the most indestructible of metals.
Okay. No, I mean, like, we don't want ourselves to spoil before we get onto the table.
I see.
So we're gonna need to keep ourselves sealed up.
We're chunk light comedy in water.
Yeah, we're chunk like comedy in water.
How are you today, Kevin?
Dude, fine. I just woke up a few minutes ago. That's great.
True.
It's such a joy to be around and to do all this. Yeah, I'm just thankful.
The expression on your face really communicates that.
Yeah, I'm just really
The
thankful.
way you're hunched over in your robe.
I'm really thankful for everything.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. My lips are itchy, but that's nothing new.
Do you need a brother to help scratch them?
With his lips?
Well, you suggested it.
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna apply chapstick as soon as we finish recording.
Oh, I see.
But otherwise I'm good. You know, just walking along and tripping over bumps in the sidewalk.
You're doing good.
What's life other than that?
I don't know.
That's all life is, really.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You're in the tin.
That's it. I'm closing the door.
No! It's just like the end of Saw. Spoilers for Saw. Okay.
Wait,
well,
really? That's
what?
how Saw ends?
The first Saw?
They ended a tin?
Kind of.
They ended a can?
No.
Prince Albert in a can?
No.
You better let the poor man out?
No. End of Saw is the old man gets up and he was alive the whole time. He just has goop on his head and then he closes the door and he says, "Game over." It's true.
What?
It's like a big reveal, a big twist.
Holy fuck, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the dreaded pirate Wesley dies, or Dread Pirate Robert, as played by Wesley. That actor cuts his foot off, I think,
Why did he do that?
because he's chained to like a pipe.
Oh my
I know
God.
what you're thinking. Why doesn't he cut through the pipe?
Wait, why doesn't he cut through the pipe?
So look, I think it's about time to get started.
I think
We have a
should keep
suggestion.
talking about Saw.
We've gotten a suggestion from the audience.
We do have a suggestion from the audience, and if you have a suggestion from the audience that you would like to stop having be in your sick, twisted fucking head, and you'd like it in our delicious, delectable mouths,
Yeah.
you can give us a little ping on the social media.
Yeah.
You can send us a thing. You can give us a comment.
Yeah.
You can send us an email at platform.pod.ca@show.com.
Not even you were getting close for a while, but you've taken a few
Sorry,
steps back.
I'll do it again.
Go for it.
You can send it to send Kevin money and you malware at yahoo.mail. Not like mail as in like email.
Mail
Mail
as in-
is in the gender.
Yeah.
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 Why don't you give us the actual one?
Yeah,
eh?
it's platform.pod.show@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy, we'd love to hear from you.
So what's the suggestion today, Kevin?
Today, our suggestion comes from a good friend of mine, who will remain anonymous.
Okay.
And the suggestion is...
I'm on tenterhooks.
I just realized we've had this suggestion before, but that's okay.
My God.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll
have to brush the script off from that episode, but
yeah, you're right. We should probably brush the script off. We always script these beforehand.
Yeah, which is why they're so good. Go ahead.
The suggestion is low fantasy.
We just did that one.
Specifically a Root-esque low fantasy.
A Root-esque. Okay, we can work with that.
Yeah.
Like animals.
Like animals, like Redwall or whatever. I've never read Redwall.
I don't know what that is, but
Redwall is like a fantasy series, but with
about animals?
Yeah.
Like warrior cats. That's high fantasy. There's a lot of magic in that one.
Well, there's no magic in Redwall.
Okay. They're just animals.
They're just medieval animals.
That's good to know. Okay, something like that.
Redwall and Root are very similar.
Cool. All right. We can make this happen.
Okay.
For our wonderful listeners at home.
Hey, can we do something for the opening for the opening title?
Yeah, like what?
Can we sing it this time?
Sing it.
Sing
still
it.
At the same time or still one word?
One word at a time.
Okay. Sure, if you want.
So it's like a bard singing it.
Oh, I see. Like a tale.
Like a tale
long told.
Yeah.
Okay.
A tale as old as time.
Yeah, song as old as time.
Is that how that goes?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Why don't we get started, eh?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Forest
dwellers
under
the
cellars.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Forest dwellers under the cellars.
Make sure, of course, that when you put it in the episode title, that you put the music notes.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be music. There's gonna be orchestration. I'll probably throw some auto-tune on there. It's gonna sound great.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Wonderful! All right, let's begin. Oh, the old man says as he crawls out of the pit. He heads towards you.
Good start. Whoa, towards me?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
Carrying in one hand a stool. The old man, hunched, kind of portly, with scraggly, long gray hair.
Right.
Tied up into a long widow's peak. Places a stool down. His cloak of velvet flows as he does so. Old velvet with golden bands strewn across it to keep his dignity.
Right.
He sits down.
Thank God.
His sandaled feet, presuming a squatting position upon the stool,
Okay.
and his hands reaching out to reveal 3 bejeweled ringed fingers.
Wow.
Amongst his craggly
Knuckles.
knuckles.
Yeah.
Like the trunks, like the branches of a tree. His
Gross.
hands interweave.
Bodies change.
And he says, "Oh, come ye for the story of the creatures in the underworld."
I put down my bindle, and I sheath my very small dagger, and I say, "Yes, old man,
Come then, I will tell you.
Do I sit on like the floor or like just kind of anywhere?
'Twas long ago.
I'm just gonna lean for now, and then maybe I'll sit down later.
And we're taken away. In the land of the forest, where nature rose supreme,
Sunlight streaming through leaves, dewdrops upon ivy branches. Is there ivy in the forest? Yeah.
yeah,
Go on.
when this place was ancient and old, this place was ancient. It existed for many, many years. Inside of this place, there were creatures whose bodies were different than ours. Creatures of smaller caliber and smaller worlds.
And as we hear this, we see like a little clump of moss like moves and kind of rustles a little, and then like a mouse emerges. The mouse kind of looks around, and then it stands up on its hind legs and takes out like a map.
There, across the forest, lay our kingdom of swords, ladies, and men. But here, in the thicket of the forest, where no man dare tread, this is where the dwellers were. Behold, in your mind's eye, the small bark. 'Twas the name of this mouse.
Bark?
Bark.
Bark. Okay.
Bark. A cooper by trade.
What does that mean?
Makes barrels.
Cool.
Cooper by trade. Moved. Read a book. Moved slowly within the mossiness of the underbrush, traveling as he did often, a path well worn toward his family.
And the mouse is like walking along with his little map, and he's like looking around. He's wearing like a cloak, a little kind of like a forest green cloak. And he's got little shoes on his hind feet, and he has like a hammer in one hand that is presumably used for barrels and also other things.
Yeah.
And he's sort of looking around and kind of squeaking softly to himself.
Hey!
Yeah.
Above, on the canopy of the tree, staring down at him, wearing an ascot and a set of robes. In one hand, upon his back, a shield and a spear.
Yikes. Okay.
Looking down at him, the face of a circular owl.
Oops.
Hey, the owl says.
The mouse just kind of holds out his hammer. He's like, eh.
What do we have here? Some lost morsel? The owl sidesteps on the branch, maintaining eye contact, his head swiveling. Some lost morsel.
I'm not a morsel. My name is Bark.
Well, Bark, my name is Herod, and I don't know if you know where you are.
I'm in the Rottener's Glade.
Rottener's Glade is under new management.
Oh. Is it you? Are you the management?
Nay, I'm only a servant of the newest management, The the Underking.
Yikes. Sounds gnarly.
'Tis.
Well, I best be off. And he starts walking again, and he kind of like starts jogging a little bit.
Oi!
What? Nope, surely our conversation has come to a natural conclusion.
Flying from branch to branch, the bird continues his pursuit. You're not turning around, Bark.
No, I'm not. I'm going to see people who are of no concern to you, fair sir.
Heed my words. The bird keeps like jumping from place to place.
Why should I?
You're heading into the Underking's domain.
Well, last I heard, is the Underking forbid anyone from entering his domain, or is it merely sort of a change of ownership?
Well, he's not exactly a cordial fella.
Well, perhaps if I meet him, I can change his mind.
You can't meet him. He's royalty.
Well, maybe
The highest of the lowest.
That's funny. I am but a humble Cooper, but my hammer is swift and my barrels are huge, and I will make a mark upon this forest. If my name isn't Bark. It's also my last name.
Bark, listen to me.
Yes, I'm a mouse. Wee. He's ready.
And then he as mice are off to do, disappears into the brush.
Ha!
The bird looks down, his two eyes fixed on the position he was before, and softly under his beak you hear, "Fool!" And then we cut.
I'm sitting on the ground now. Okay. Interesting, old man. This tale you weave is one of rich splendor. For what does this mean, the domain of the Underking? I've heard of such things, but only in legend.
'Twas long ago.
I'm drawing like a little owl and like a little mouse in the dirt with my finger as I'm listening.
'Twas long ago.
Do you like them?
I do.
Thanks.
In the depths of the earth. Fire! We're there in the darkness, illuminated by red light. Here, toiling away, tink, tink, tink.
There's a whole bunch of like spiders all mining ore.
Toiling away, the lost souls of the bugs, moving and moving through the dirt to find their prize.
Spiders and beetles and praying mantises, all seemingly huge, but we can't tell if that's like the perspective or if they're actually huge. They're like, we only see them in the flashes of the illumination from striking the hard stone with their pickaxes.
The Underking grew wealthy under this rule, for you see, they discovered him, buried deep in the earth.
And we just see a big black throne with two glowing eyes in the middle. We can't see the outline of what the animal, we can't see what the Underking actually is, but we just see his horrible gaze.
Underneath a patch of hardened stone, inscribed with runes that the bugs could not read, they burrowed and they toiled for its prize and found only a tyrannical beast. You! The Underking screeches. Bring me gems, lest I eat your childs.
No, says a spider. Yes, my king, says a pill bug. Ooh, says a centipede.
Master, master, says a buzzing fly. The Underking looks back to it. What news have you of the surface in Rotter's Glade?
Master, there has been a trespassing on your sacred domain.
We hear this wriggling sound as he breathes.
The tiny feet of a... What does he do again?
He's a Cooper.
Of a Cooper.
Read a book.
I'm sorry, my liege. The tiny feet, the tiny disgusting feet of a Cooper have tarnished the ceiling of your majesty. They tread upon the land of your dreams, the land of the sunlight, the land of the surface where you rightfully belong.
Quickly, suddenly, a grasping few tentacles grip onto the bug, sucked down into the gullet of the Underking. The fly perishes. A Cooper. Some peasant. We shall see how strong they think they are.
And the camera like zooms into the red eye of the Underking, and then it slowly becomes like the red of a flower, which gets passed by the Cooper. Bark. He's making his way through the underbrush again.
He's running his way. Quite suddenly, however, his momentum is stopped. Whew, he trips and falls.
By the gods! See, it's low fantasy. Gotta say by the gods.
Yeah.
Gotta get one of those in there.
We gotta get some divinity in there.
Yep. Some nondescript divinity.
Moving, massive footfalls. The thing he had fallen on.
Oh, geez Louise.
'Twas a small portion of this beast,
Oops.
who now sidles towards the mouse.
And as he looks up, he sees a, what does he see?
Flat and round, green and scaly, a turtle.
Oh. Pardon me, sir.
Upon his realization, he recalls the legends of the turtles.
Ooh.
Slow and unbelievably powerful. They built the world.
Hey.
The turtle seemingly looks back at him. Big, glassy, black eyes look into his soul.
Greetings, sir. I am but a humble
Cooper.
I keep on wanting to say cobbler.
You're not a cobbler.
I'm a Cooper. My wits are sharp and my barrels are massive. And I go by the name of Bark. I am merely passing through this domain on part of a greater journey that is my own. You're getting real close. You're getting even closer. Okay. Ooh.
A massive foot reaches up.
Whoa.
Dirt and moss falling by the wayside.
Whoa!
And it falls like the crash of a bomb next to Bark.
Whoa!
And as it does, Bark sees sloughing off of this creature part of his skin,
Oh.
which falls to the ground.
Bark picks it up.
Bark holds in his hand the firm, massive scale of a turtle. The turtle continues upon his slow march, but from Bark's perspective, he moves rather fast as he clears the brush and slinks into a hidden pond.
Bark looks at the scale.
He taps it. Tink, tink. It's harder than metal.
He sort of looks at his distorted reflection within it. He says, creeps. Jeeps creeps. What? Cool. And he puts it in his bag.
Bark makes no wavering of his haste as he journeys further to Rodder's Glade. Rodder's Glade.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Back down.
Dual perspective.
Into the fire.
Yes, my liege. I will find the Cooper. We hear this, the horrid words of a massive arachnid. Tell me your credentials. The Under King says, his red eyes beating down upon the tarantula.
Well, I am capable of catching anything that moves. I am capable of scaling anything that is tall. And I am capable of rendering anything that breathes nothing more than a soup.
Soup! Slam! The crack of thunder out of his hand. Soup! Don't speak of culinary things when talking of murder!
I'm sorry. He snaps off one of the spider's legs.
He says, you'll need this. And he puts it back on.
Thank you, my liege. Your kindness knows no bounds.
The Under King swivels his chair back and looks on at the work of the bugs, dismissing the tarantula to his bloody business.
Back up. The sun.
The tarantula climbs.
The sun is beginning to set up in Rodder's Glade.
Just over a mountaintop, a hill, Bark sees the small glade. It looks different from this angle.
He sees trees reaching up towards the sky.
He sees the ever-present blue of the twilight falling, and gone.
And he sees in the very distance a small puff of smoke, a flickering of light, of warmth, of home. He sees his destination, but he knows he has many challenges yet to face before he is to arrive. Seemingly by coincidence, as he thinks that, we see the shadowy silhouette of a leg move in the underbrush. Unbeknownst to him, he continues onward. He looks down at his map as he walks, a slower pace now, a more cautious one, with the sun having set. He takes out a little candle, and he sort of peers at the map.
As he walks, candle in hand, map in the other, he finds his path halted. He has stepped in something sticky.
Ooh. Oh, well, that's all right. I'll just reach down and... Ooh. Well, that's okay. I know, that's fine. That's okay. I'll just push with this other foot and... Okay, well, okay. This is fine. I'm just gonna... Maybe I'll just hit it with my hammer. I'm sure somebody's gonna come by pretty soon.
Of that, you're right.
Huh?
Before him, a massive, seven-legged tarantula appears. His furry, fuzzy, tendrilled lips open.
Gross.
Upon his head, a cone cap of wool. He The tarantula's wearing a hat.
Yeah.
And
I was like, ah,
his appendix. His
his appendix,
His appendix is
his burst.
no, his abdomen.
Right. His thorax.
His thorax wrapped up in a silken garment, a robe. He steps forward toward the small mouse. You shouldn't come here.
Hail, traveler. He's like bent over in a weird way because he's essentially in a glue trap. And he's like, cool. Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. I go by Bark, and I am on a voyage to a destination of my own, making my way through
Rodder's Glade.
Rodder's Glade. I am but a simple. Does it begin with C? Cooper. I'm but a simple Cooper.
Who did you think made barrels?
I don't know. The government.
The tarantula steps forward. Each step, every one of them, every 7 of them, bringing him closer and closer to the small mouse.
I have no business here in Rodder's Glade. I'm simply passing through.
That's the problem. You did not genuflex before the king of the underworld.
Oh. This king of the underworld, I've heard a lot about him. The Underking, as they say. Is he a benevolent fellow?
He sent me to kill you.
Okay, nope. No, I am getting no from that.
No, he is not, the tarantula says with glee. He works us hard, but pays well. And now...
Capitalism.
I don't know what that is.
Me
It's
neither.
the medieval era.
Blood runs out of Bark's nose.
And now I will snuff you out and get my due. The fangs of the tarantula seek Bark's tender flesh, but find only conch. The tarantula reels back, having impacted the turtle scale.
At Bark's feet, he sees a freshly glistening fang of the tarantula, having been knocked out of its mouth.
What does he do?
He picks it up. He brandishes the turtle scale on one arm and the tarantula fang in his other hand.
He slices through the webbing on his feet and positions himself in the best stance he can. The tarantula has disappeared.
Come on out. I know you're still around here somewhere.
The sound of feet across bark.
He sort of rotates in his stance. Come now. This doesn't have to come to blows between you and me.
Echoing across the woodland, Bark now sees that he is surrounded by a veritable cage of webbing. At any path he tries to tread, he'll become stuck. An easy prey. Echoing across the webbing, shaking it as it reverberates. Blows, please. It has come to blows time and again. For I am a being of profit, and you my mark. Even before the Underking, I sought the weak, the ones who couldn't fight for themselves, and I tore them asunder, bit by bit, choking them until their lives spilled from their mouths, and I sucked it up. Now you, small mouse, you will be just my next meal.
Bark looks around. He sees webbing stretched out in the air on the ground. And he notices the webbing seems to vibrate. Each time it does, the spider seems to turn its head, only for a moment, before skittering onwards. Bark Bark thinks to himself, spiders are not known for their eyesight. Perhaps he's going by feel, by vibration only. Perhaps he cannot, in fact, actually see me. Knowing this, Bark Bark picks up a rock from the ground, being careful to weave his hands slowly and methodically in between the strands of webbing, a rock in his hand. He gently tosses it against a string of webbing.
With a massive clawed foot, the spider bears down upon the rock.
It finds nothing. The spider seems confused.
But then realization moves over his face. So you know my secret. Yes, I am blind. But I have faced many crafty foe who have understood that I can kill only what moves. But even the calmest ones must vibrate. The old man falls down and grasps onto the young man.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. The old man says, my heart, it acted up just now, but I will continue the story from where we left off.
Please do.
In the dark of the wood, the spider rushing back into the darkness. Bark. His foe is witty. What shall he do? What can he do against such a potent foe?
He looks up into the sky. He sees the twinkle of the stars through the leaves of the trees. And takes a deep breath. He begins to hack and slash every piece of webbing that he can see.
You are foolhardy! The stars above him transition from stars into eyes as they fall down onto Bark. As this happens, Bark turns back and slashes up with the fang. The spider recoils and positions himself in front of Bark. From one of his legs, he reveals a crossbow.
What the fuck? Bark slashes a piece of webbing as the crossbow bolt veers towards him, and he grabs onto the end. As it recoils from its sprung state, he is launched across the forest.
But even this speed is barely more than the speed of the tarantula. You will not stop me! I always get my meals!
But, having no longer been touched the ground, Bark is now sailing through the air. He clasps onto the sticky end of the webbing as he whips around a tree, heading instead of away from the tarantula, now careening towards it.
The tarantula, unknown, continues on his path, but Bark with the fang, the very fang of the tarantula, slices across his abdomen. The tarantula recoils and jumps into the canopy above. Oh, echoing through the wood. You are clever, Bark. The spider says.
Thanks.
But your cleverness will know its end. Crawling from canopy to canopy, the spider moves about before finally falling right behind Bark.
Bark turns around, slowly. What do you think of this Underking?
I think he pays me well, the spider says.
Is that all you think of him? Bark looks at the gnarled stump that used to be the spider's leg,
He is my master, the spider says, and therefore I serve him. He's been the most consistent I've had. A beast like me, so far from my desert home. I get what I can.
Bark Bark looks at the many slashes he has created in the spider's abdomen, and he says, "Do you know which master I serve?"
Which? The spider asks.
None. I am my own.
Perhaps, the spider says. Perhaps. No, the spider says. They will be heresy. Betrayal, even. And, kind of shifts to one side.
You say you come from the desert?
I do, the spider says.
Then what power does this Underking hold over you? Hails the Underking from the desert?
No, says the spider. No. His power is immense, though, the spider says.
I do not wish to harm you any further. You are a warrior of great merit, and I have left my warrior days behind me. Now I am but simply don't tell me. It begins with a C. It's not cobbler. Cooper.
Yep. Well done.
Character growth.
Yeah.
I'm but simply Cooper. He drops the fang to the ground, and he takes out his hammer instead. I do not destroy. I only build.
How noble, says the spider. Are you familiar with our desert custom? That once a battle is concluded, the participants shake appendages.
I'm not, but I shall participate.
Where are you? I can't see you.
I'm right in front of you, and he holds out a hand while tightening his grip on the mallet in the other.
The spider's hand reaches forward toward his.
He reaches out and takes it lightly.
As contact is made, pulled deep in, the spider opens his mouth.
And Bark Bark says, I was afraid it wouldn't come to this. And he swings upward with his mallet, ramming the spider's remaining fang directly into its brain.
But even this amount of pressure is not enough, and the spider flings the hammer away, pinning Bark Bark down to the ground with two of his legs. The spider rams his head down into Bark Bark, causing damage. Ah! You will not kill me. Many have tried, but I... And suddenly the spider's gone. Then, next to Bark Bark, a splattering of an arachnid corpse.
Ugh.
Next to the bleeding Bark Bark falls an owl.
Oh, hey. Bark Bark gets up.
What did I tell you? This is the Underking's domain.
Yeah, you did say that, yes.
You are injured, the owl says.
Only mildly. He looks down. He's, well, maybe a little more than that.
He removes a bandage and begins to patch him up. You're lucky. It was just a tarantula.
Is there more?
A black widow would have killed you outright with the first blow. The Underking is served by the bugs of the earth, the predators of the surface, and the carrion false flyers.
What about you? Weren't you a servant of his?
That was a deception, boy. I serve the old regime.
The old regime. Bark Bark sort of staggers over and picks up his mallet.
Yes, you may have heard of them as the Feathered Friends. This Bark Bark knows.
Eagles.
Owls.
Crows.
all forms of avian who believe themselves superior to those on the ground.
Yes, I have.
He's fought them. Back in his warrior days.
I thank you. I must now continue alone. And he starts trudging off.
Hold, he says.
And he doesn't stop. What? He says, calling back.
The bird starts hopping toward him. I saw you fight. You're capable enough. Come, join me.
I had hoped that this would be a journey where I did not have to fight, but it seems that wherever I go, my fighting days seem to follow me.
And so they do, the owl says. But
Sort of hopping a circle around him.
yeah, but if you continue along your way by yourself, you'll be caught unawares, overwhelmed by his forces. Traveling together, we might stand a chance at liberating Rotter's Glade.
Bark stops and he looks at the owl quizzically and he says, "You would join forces with a mouse like me?"
Times being as they are, my whole regiment destroyed. I am the last survivor. Let me introduce myself once again. I am Prince Herod.
Oh. Bark says, okay. Bark looks around him. The darkness of the forest seems to be encroaching on him.
Say, the owl says, have we met before?
Bark thinks back. The fire of war, the gleam of blades, the scream of animals.
But this owl, he's too young to have met him on the field of battle.
Surely not. Bark shakes his head, throwing the memory out of his mind. No, I don't believe we have.
And yours is Bark.
It is. Just Bark. No royal affiliation.
Fine, the bird says. But understand this. Go ye alone, in certain death. Travel with me. You shall have what comforts of royalty I can provide. Along with my, and he pulls out the spear and shield, stalwart, piercing thrust. For I saved you just now, he points to the corpse of the tarantula.
Bark looks around. He looks down at his damaged arm. He looks up at the owl, whom he does not trust. But he looks out into the darkness of the forest, night creeping ahead of him, and he says, "Perhaps, for now, 2 is better than 1. And he reaches out his tiny little mouse hand again.
The bird reaches a feathered hand out.
The 2 clasp.
And then, suddenly, pulled into a hug. Bark recalls the custom of birds to hug.
He's released, and he says, "But 1 condition.
I
only know these roads from the ground."
But I only know them from the sky. I will, as a show of faith, the words seem hard to say, walk.
Bark smiles at this. He thinks that perhaps this owl has more to him than he initially assumed.
The 2 of them begin, the owl clumsily, 1 foot after the other. I can't believe you morsels do this.
Bark grins to himself, puts his mallet back in his satchel, and the 2 unlikely friends walk off into the distance, into the shadow of the night, now slightly more confident than before.
They feel upon their feet a rumble, and below, The old man unclasps his hands and says, "And that is all for now." And sits up, takes the stool. "What? Did you bring me food, boy?"
Oh yeah. I take a biscuit out of my bindle and I'm like, here, thanks for the story. Can I come back again sometime to hear how the part 2?
"Yes."
Okay.
And he
Have fun in the pit. Okay. Yay!
It's our first. I think that's
First part 1.
first part 1
Where will it go?
of the forest dwellers in the cellars.
Yeah, forest dwellers in the cellars.
Hell yeah!
Wow, that was fun.
That was fun.
The program crashed halfway through, but we got it. We're still here. It's fine.
It's fucking fun.
Yeah, it's all good.
So good. Oh my goodness.
Well,
How wonderful.
that was very fun. I really enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
That was pretty long.
Yeah.
And it's only part 1, baby.
And it's only part 1. Will we return to it? I don't know. I hope so.
I want to.
Okay. It seems we will.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you have a good day.
We hope you have a good day.
We hope you eat a nice breakfast.
I hope so.
We hope you sing a nice song in the shower to remind yourself that you're alive and you can feel.
And when you do that,
Yeah.
you should remember
Yep.
to stay safe,
Yeah.
stay lovely,
Yeah.
and we will see you next time.
See you next time for the continuation of the tale of Rodder's Glade.
And Bark Bark and Prince Herod.
Yeah. Maybe not like next time, but like in the future.
In the future.
I don't know
Yeah,
if we'll
yeah.
do it right away. Bye.
Bye.